Boeing just broke years of silence about a project everyone thought was dead, the 797. Industry sources revealed Boeing is making critical technology decisions. The aircraft Airbus hoped would never happen is finally coming. Here's what Boeing confirmed and why the Airbus A321 XLR suddenly faces its biggest threat ever. Boeing is moving forward with plans for a new middle-of-the-market aircraft. Industry sources report Boeing is expected to begin making initial technology selections for a new single-aisle aircraft as soon as next year. This represents monumental news for Boeing. The company desperately needs this aircraft to compete in the middle-of-the-market segment. Airbus has dominated this space for years without effective Boeing competition. Boeing is targeting the upper end of the narrow-body market. Currently, Boeing has no aircraft between the largest MAX variant, the Boeing 737 MAX 10, and the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. This gap leaves Boeing unable to compete for routes requiring more capacity than the MAX 10, but less than a full wide-body. Current estimates suggest the new aircraft will be closer in size to the Boeing 757 rather than any current Boeing 737 variant. The Boeing 757 remains beloved by airlines for its capability to serve thin, long-haul routes efficiently. Boeing stopped producing the Boeing 757 in 2004. The decision to end production proved strategically disastrous. No Boeing aircraft adequately replaced the Boeing 757's capabilities. Airlines operating Boeing 757s have struggled to find suitable replacements. Airbus recognized this gap and exploited it perfectly. The A321neo, particularly the A321 XLR variant, captured the middle market Boeing abandoned. The A321 XLR provides extended range, enabling transatlantic service from secondary cities. Airlines worldwide have ordered hundreds of A321 XLR aircraft. The type enables route economics that were previously impossible. Thin, long-haul routes become profitable with the A321 XLR's efficiency and capacity. Boeing watched helplessly as Airbus captured this market. The Boeing 737 MAX 10 lacks sufficient range for many routes the A321 XLR serves. The Boeing 787-8 is too large and expensive for thin routes. Boeing had no competitive answer. This middle market represents enormous commercial value. Thousands of aircraft will be needed over coming decades. Boeing cannot afford to concede this entire segment to Airbus permanently. From this entry point, Boeing also plans to build a broader family of modern fuel-efficient aircraft. Eventually, this family could replace the entire Boeing 787 line. Boeing envisions a comprehensive product lineup serving markets from upper narrow-body through lower wide-body. Initial design preferences point to a single-aisle airliner prioritizing evolution over revolution. The aircraft will retain familiar tube and turbofan architecture that has defined jet travel since the 1950s. However, the wings will be significantly more advanced. Boeing plans longer, thinner wing profiles with hinged folding tips, similar to the 777X design. This provides aerodynamic efficiency while maintaining airport compatibility. Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg recently paused the experimental X-66 demonstrator program. This $1.5 billion program developed with NASA-featured strut-braced carbon fiber wings. The radical design aimed for breakthrough efficiency improvements. However, Boeing concluded that risk-averse customers and regulators affected by the Boeing 737 MAX crashes were not ready for such radical design changes. The X-66's unusual appearance and unproven technology created certification and market acceptance risks. Ortberg redirected resources from the X-66 to projects more relevant to Boeing's immediate financial recovery. Boeing carries approximately $47 billion in debt. The company must prioritize programs generating near-term revenue and profit. The new middle-market aircraft represents exactly this type of priority program. Airlines need the aircraft. The market opportunity is substantial. Technology is proven and low risk. Certification should proceed more smoothly than revolutionary designs. Boeing is in active discussions with 3 major engine makers about propulsion options. Advanced ducted turbofans are under consideration. These engines provide better fuel efficiency than current turbofans, while avoiding open rotor certification challenges. However, Boeing is not considering the joint GE Safran Rise engine. The open rotor design faces significant certification and market acceptance barriers. Airlines and aircraft lessors have voiced strong concerns. Steve Udvar-Hazy, an influential aircraft leasing industry leader, stated airlines do not want open rotor technology because of safety implications. Particular concerns include risks of detached blades, severing hydraulic lines, or potentially damaging the fuselage. Additional concerns include cabin reinforcement requirements, passenger perception of exposed rotating blades, and extensive certification challenges. These factors make open rotor engines commercially risky despite potential efficiency advantages. This leaves Rolls-Royce with its UltraFan derivative as a key contender if Boeing pursues advanced engine technology. However, conventional turbofan engines remain the most likely choice given market preferences for proven reliability. The new aircraft will feature a completely redesigned cockpit. Boeing is finally abandoning the 1960s era Boeing 737 cockpit design. The new flight deck will mirror the Boeing 787 and 777's modern design with touchscreen avionics. This represents a direct response to lessons learned from the Boeing 737 MAX tragedies. The outdated Boeing 737 cockpit contributed to pilot confusion during critical situations. Modern ergonomic design reduces pilot workload and improves situational awareness. Engine reliability remains critical. The industry experienced significant problems with latest generation fuel-efficient engines. Pratt & Whitney GTF engines powering many A320neo aircraft faced manufacturing defects requiring extensive rework. These problems grounded fleets worldwide and damaged Airbus's delivery schedules. Airlines will not tolerate similar teething problems with new engines. Reliability and proven performance outweigh marginal efficiency improvements. Airlines prefer production stability over technological breakthroughs. Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary expressed preference for Boeing focusing on producing existing models in greater volume rather than developing new aircraft. However, Boeing cannot ignore the middle market gap indefinitely. Airbus is capturing orders Boeing should be competing for. The strategic cost of inaction exceeds the risks of new aircraft development. Boeing currently holds an order backlog exceeding 6,000 commercial aircraft. In 2024, Boeing secured more orders than Airbus for the first time since 2018. This signals early momentum in CEO Kelly Ortberg's turnaround plan. Boeing's near-term priorities include certifying the Boeing 737 MAX 7, MAX 10, and 777X. All three programs are more than 5 years behind original schedules. Certification delays have cost Boeing billions and damaged customer relationships. However, Boeing cannot delay the middle market aircraft indefinitely. Airbus is plotting parallel timelines for its own A320neo successor. This creates direct competitive pressure on Boeing to act. Airbus is developing a next-generation single-aisle aircraft to succeed the A320neo family. Target entry into service is the mid to late 2030s. The new Airbus aircraft is projected to be 20 to 30% more efficient than current A320neo aircraft. Advanced aerodynamics, lighter materials, and potentially folding wingtips are under consideration. Airbus is evaluating open rotor engine technology such as the CFM Rise despite airline concerns. Program launch decisions are expected around 2027. This Airbus timeline creates urgency for Boeing. If Boeing waits too long, airlines may commit to the A320neo successor before Boeing's aircraft becomes available. First mover advantage matters in capturing market share. The single-aisle segment remains the financial backbone of commercial aviation. An A320 or Boeing 737 takes off every 2 seconds worldwide. Dominance in this segment determines manufacturer profitability and strategic positioning. Boeing desperately needs the middle market aircraft to regain competitive balance. Airbus has beaten Boeing in this segment since the Boeing 767's retirement left Boeing without adequate middle market coverage. The Boeing 767 served routes requiring more capacity than narrow bodies, but less than large wide bodies. When Boeing ended Boeing 767 passenger production, no replacement existed. Airlines turned to Airbus A330s and eventually A321neos. Boeing attempted to position the Boeing 787-8 as a Boeing 767 replacement. But the Boeing 787-8 is larger and more expensive than most airlines need for typical middle market routes. The aircraft works for some missions, but not all. The A321 XLR captured routes the Boeing 767 once served, plus additional missions neither aircraft could serve. Airbus created entirely new route possibilities with the A321 XLR's combination of range and economics. Boeing's new aircraft must match or exceed A321 XLR capabilities to compete effectively. Simply matching the Boeing 757's performance is insufficient. The new aircraft must enable routes impossible with current Boeing equipment. Boeing is finally breaking silence on the 797 program. Technology selections are beginning. Formal launch could occur within 3 years. The aircraft that could challenge Airbus's middle market dominance is becoming real. For Airbus, this creates genuine competitive concern. The A321 XLR enjoyed years without direct competition. Airlines chose between the A321 XLR or nothing for certain missions. Boeing's new aircraft eliminates this monopoly. If Boeing executes properly, airlines will evaluate both manufacturers for middle market requirements. Competition will pressure pricing and drive innovation. Airbus can no longer assume automatic wins in this segment. However, Boeing must deliver on promises. Announcing programs differs from certifying and delivering aircraft. Boeing's recent history includes multiple delayed programs and execution challenges. Airlines will watch Boeing's progress skeptically. The company must prove it can develop aircraft on schedule and budget. Any significant problems would damage credibility and allow Airbus to maintain dominance. Boeing is finally moving forward with the aircraft it should have built years ago. The middle market has been conceded to Airbus for too long. Boeing's new aircraft represents the company's attempt to recapture lost ground and compete effectively again. The Airbus A321 XLR suddenly faces the genuine competition it never had before. Boeing's silence is broken. The 797 is happening, and the middle market battle is finally beginning.